I was doing my own version of doom scrolling, flipping through photography books. And the more I got into them, the more I noticed how very few images are perfectly sharp. Yet, I still feel the energy. I still perceive the beauty. I still sense the story. And now that's in my head, I can't help but wonder, does it have to be in focus? One quick service info: if you're interested only in understanding zone focusing, you can skip directly to the last chapter. The exact time is in the description. But if you're also interested to know why I choose manual focus over autofocus, stick around for a while, I'll get soon into it. For years before I got myself a manual lens, I often wondered how film guys and/or like I'm users were able not to waste thousands of shots without autofocus. And I swear it was a genuine question in my head because we aren't born educated, and by the time my frontal lobe developed and I started photography, autofocus had already become the standard, become the thing. My first camera was a Sony DSLR with autofocus, and then I got myself the A7 III, which is the camera that changed the rule of this game, especially for autofocus. But long story short, as soon as I fall into street photography, I started buying photography books. I think photo books are the best way to improve. There's nothing like physical media. Does this make me an Instagram or digital media hater? No, it doesn't. There are photographers out there I admire and I look to on Instagram or on their portfolio and website for many reasons. Maybe they haven't released any book yet, or their books are incredible, rare to find, and so on. But I do believe physical media are the best way to improve your skill, to improve your vision, to learn, and to questioning yourself, which is the most important thing when it comes to be a creative person. The more I studied photography legend, the more I started to realize that there's nothing that matters less than perfect focus. Well, at least in street photography and in documentary photography, there are many other genres where perfect focus is required for many reasons. But when it comes to what I really like and I really enjoy, perfect focus becomes less of a priority and more of a bonus, if you will. To be honest, I'm not saying that completely blurry shots are a thing or are the thing. What I'm saying is that the story, the moment, the energy, the vibe are far more important than sharpness. In fact, the famous photography quote, "Sharpness is a bourgeois concept." I don't know if it's bourgeois is the right pronunciation. In Italian we say borghese. Is somehow relatable and relevant if we take a closer look at the master of street and documentary photography. Back when street photography actually became a thing, autofocus didn't exist. Film photographer used to manually focus each frame with intention, more or less, but with a certain margin of error we all look up to and we all love. Even when it comes to zone focusing, which is how I take picture in my mirrorless digital autofocus camera, there is room for error. And these mistakes are what give depth and emotion to a shot. If, for instance, we strip sharpness from the equation, what we have left? What else there's left for us to be looked at in a frame? Well, let me tell you honestly, absolutely everything. Storytelling, composition, lighting, what's in the frame and what is not being included, even colors and shades of gray. To me, it's these imperfections that makes a photo stand out, a photo relevant, a photo immortal, if you will. Let me also give you a quick example of this into music. Obviously, for copyright reason, I can't let you listen the song here, but if you search on YouTube Mustard saying Creep by Radiohead, it's this homeless guy that it's not homeless anymore, I guess, that sing and play Creep by Radiohead. And to me, the super cool thing about that cover in particular that is to me better than the original is the fact that his voice broke at some point when he's singing, and to me, that is the magic of music, that is the magic of art. When, you know, that imperfection creeps out of nowhere and give you this sort of, I don't know how to say it in English, gives you brividi, goosebumps, okay? To me, that is the magic of music and is the magic of photography as well. And also, guess what? That imperfection is also part of that film look we all love and we all want to replicate somehow. Because as long as we can still understand the frame and the situation, even subconsciously, perfectly nail focus almost ruin the mood. With that being said, roughly a year ago or so, I switched completely to manual lenses, except for my video lens which is filming me right now. Because I want to embrace this nostalgia look. You know, this look I deeply love and admire. This kind of imperfection that I see in the master who shaped my taste in photography, even not directly, even those who are not my favorite photographers. And the best way to achieve it is to shoot manual focus, to manually craft my images, to manually pulling the focus in my frames, or even with zone focusing. And trust me, I never looked back, and once you are into it, it's even hard to use autofocus. More than hard, I'd say it's weird, like not having control over it. It's not tragic as it sounds, but to me, having control over what I do and not only over my settings, but also where my focus is going is crucial at this point. Also, there's something magical about this tactile process of shooting manual lenses. Like, as I said before, it seems that you are crafting the photograph. And now that I know this feeling, I'm kinda addicted to it. And now, since I've mentioned zone focusing, let me quickly run through it and explain to you in the most simple and effective way I can what is zone focusing and how does it work. So let's start with what is zone focusing. Zone focusing is simply predetermine a zone of focus where your images are going to be in focus. For instance, in longer focal length like this 90mm, your focused zone is going to be very small. You can still zone focusing, but it's like, you know, very, very thin and you have less room for error. You can also zone focusing with a 50mm, with a 35mm, and even with a 28mm, which is probably the easier strict lens to zone focus. So if we set the aperture at f8 down on the scale, you'll see numbers that indicate distance. Positioning our critical focus at 1 meter at f8 means everything between 0.8 meters and 1.5 meters will be in acceptable focus, with the sharpest point at 1 meter. As soon as we go up to 2 meters, our zone of sharpness increases. So at f8, focused at 2 meters, everything from 1.2 meters up to roughly 7 meters will be in acceptable focus. Therefore, if we close the aperture a bit more to f16 with the sharpest point at 2 meters, we are going to have so much more room, from roughly 0.9 meters up to infinity in more than acceptable focus. It may sound complicated, but after a couple of hours you will no longer need autofocus. Thank you for making this far, I love you so much guys, and I'll see you in the next one.